Thank you so much for tuning in today. You're listening to The Daily, and I'm your host, Amy Carlin. One of the earliest Bible stories I remember learning is about the Good Samaritan. I saw it acted out in countless children's church lessons, and I watched animated films about it. I think we all know the story. A traveler is beaten, robbed, and left for dead in the road. A priest and a Levite both pass by without helping, skirting to the far side to avoid him. In one particular children's version I grew up on, the two passers-by sing a lengthy song about how they're far too busy to help. Finally, a Samaritan stops, takes the traveler to an inn, pays for his stay and medical care, and promises to return to pay any other expenses. I think most of us are aware that Samaritans were generally despised by the Jews when Jesus Christ was alive. So this parable shows us that really everyone is our neighbor, and we should love and serve all of God's children. I watched a video on mormonchannel.org that modernizes the Good Samaritan story. It's beautifully done, and it shows what a similar situation might look like today. As I was thinking about that story, I wondered how often we as individuals tend to look past service opportunities around us. Sometimes we're busy helping someone else. Sometimes we just don't have any fuel in our tank to give. Sometimes we're so caught up in our own lives and our own small priorities that we can't see the needs of God's children around us. The smallest acts of service can be a really big deal to others. When my husband and I shared a car for a few years, I was usually pretty embarrassed to ask other people if I could catch a ride home with them after work. The bus service here isn't very good, and it would have been a long ride and then a long walk home. Over the years, I got rides from friends, neighbors, and from my sister. One couple in particular consistently went out of their way to take care of me. There were a few times when they had even taken the day off work, but still made the half-hour round trip to come pick me up anyway. They never made me feel like a burden, and I will never forget that kindness. It may have been a small thing to them, but to me it meant the world. Service comes in many forms. You might give a friend a ride home, like my friends did for me. You might go out of your way to pick up groceries for your grandpa or an elderly neighbor. You might take your sister out to lunch when you know she's had a frustrating week. You might pick up the phone and call your mom. You might make dinner for a neighbor. In my life, I've found that my struggles seem lighter when I shelve them and I worry about other people. I'd like to challenge you to find someone to serve this week. See how you change when you stop worrying about you. I'd like to share with you the text of a hymn that I love. Have I done any good in the world today? Have I helped anyone in need? Have I cheered up the sad and made someone feel glad? If not, I have failed indeed. Has anyone's burden been lighter today because I was willing to share? Have the sick and the weary been helped on their way? When they needed my help, was I there? Then wake up and do something more than dream of your mansions above. Doing good is a pleasure, a joy beyond measure, a blessing of duty and love. You can find this hymn, Have I Done Any Good, on LDS.org. If you'd like to watch the video I mentioned earlier, look up The Good Samaritan on mormonchannel.org. Thank you again for listening today. The Daily is brought to you by The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.